Hello, my name is Maria, and I'm a peer mentor for the Living Donor Program, Michigan Kidney Transplant Education. I believe my story actually began in late 2015 when I toured Vietnam. In Saigon, I visited the Catholic Cathedral there, lit a couple of candles, and prayed. It was the 40th anniversary of the war's end, and I was able to see and better understand the effect of war on the land and the Vietnamese people. I didn't know it then, but around the same time, a Vietnamese priest, who was also a retired U.S. Navy chaplain, had just begun dialysis in Ann Arbor. During spring, early summer of 2018, I attended Mass on Saturday evenings. Seated at the opposite end of my pew each week was a Vietnamese man of similar age. Besides smiling and being cordial, I really hadn't spoken to him. One day I attended a funeral of a friend and saw this man wearing vestments on the altar. Realizing he was a priest then, I greeted him accordingly after that. Soon after, a notice appeared in our church bulletin. Retired military chaplain humbly requests a kidney. The following week I approached him, asked him if it was he who needed a kidney, and asked him what blood type he was. When he said B positive, I responded, I am also B positive. I don't think I've ever met another B positive person before. I think I would need to pray about this one. He told me that 7 people had come forward, but they were either not a match or health issues had prevented them from being a donor. Sensing the disappointment in his voice, I decided if I wanted to pursue this opportunity, I wouldn't tell him until I was certain of being a match. The next day, I called the transplant center and scheduled my first appointment as a candidate donor. The first appointment, which included the donor information class, a blood and urine collection, some screening, diagnostics, and talking to members of the transplant team, was only the beginning. After 3 months of testing and appointments, I was cleared to donate and confirmed a match. I was over the moon excited with the news. After waiting for my recipient to get clearance, I received a call from the transplant coordinator stating that the recipient no longer wanted a kidney transplant. Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe the news. After months of preparing, testing, and putting my life on hold, I was determined that if not him, someone was certainly getting my kidney. I called the number listed in the church bulletin and asked Father to meet with me. A deeply religious man, he had decided to wait for the miracle he had prayed for this whole time. I said, Father, how do you know that I'm not your miracle? I think you ought to pray about that. I gave him my phone number and set off for a couple of weeks in Greece and Turkey. On the day of my arrival home, I received a call. His nephrologist had encouraged him to accept my kidney. We met a few times after. He shared that in 1975, he, along with 16 other young priests, were put on a boat with only the clothes they were wearing. And gosh, all of a sudden, my flashback to 2015 when I had been to Saigon came into my head. And I wondered if any of the photos I had seen back then were of him. On January 9th, 2019, one day before my 71st birthday, this 70-year-old man, who had served as a Navy chaplain for 23 years, received my left kidney. What an amazing blessing and gift that was to both of us. I can't begin to tell you how wonderful I felt, seeing the big smile on his face, looking radiant and healthy after his transplant. My excitement was that of giving birth, or rebirth for him. For me, it was an easy surgery, a day's stay in the hospital, and a fast, easy, almost painless recovery. It was quite different for my recipient, who just about covered the whole list of complications requiring a lengthy hospital stay. Today, almost a year and a half post-transplant, thanks to my phenomenal kidney, the amazing surgeons and staff at U of M's Transplant Center. Father is active, doing all the things he missed out during his years on dialysis. For me, I remain in excellent health and wish I could just grow more kidneys to give them away. Every organ transplant is different, but all transplants are life-saving miracles. To reach out to me or other living donor or recipient peer mentors, please call 800-333-9013 or email transplantoutreach@umich.edu, or simply download the University of Michigan Kidney Transplant Education app on Apple or your Android devices. Thanks for listening, and hope you'll be willing to share your spare as I did.